Hey, what's going on, Guardians? My name is the Black Link, and today is Thursday, April 28th, 2022, and you know what that means. It's time for this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly blog, This Week at Bungie, and I'm sure you guys are ready for a, slightly shorter bit of news than what we had last week. Thankfully, we've only got one real subject to talk about this week, and that is the Guardian Spring event, Guardian Games. We're going to be learning all about Destiny 2's major spring event in this week's TWAB. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on in. This week, we're talking about the return of our yearly tradition, which is the Guardian Games. Each year, Warlocks, Hunters, and Titans go head-to-head to prove who is the boss, even though it's clearly Titans, and sometimes Hunters. Hunters took the gold last year, so Warlocks and fellow Titans, it's time to suit up. This year, we're changing things up a bit. We'll also be talking more about Season 17 reward changes, pool rotations, and more. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Guardian Games and beyond. Guardian Games 2022 will kick off next week on May 3rd and is free for all players of Destiny 2. This event is a tradition, and it's the perfect excuse to get into that friendly competitive spirit. For anybody who hasn't played Guardian Games before, it basically breaks down to being an Olympic-style Destiny competition between the three main classes: Hunters, Warlocks, and Titans. The first year of Guardian Games, Titans solidly took home the gold, and then last year, Hunters wound up winning. Will this be the year that Warlocks finally make a dub? I mean, who knows? Probably not, though. While the spirit of the annual class battle does remain the same as previous years, Guardian Games 2022 does have a few changes that players can look forward to. First things first, what determines the winner? Well, much like previous Guardian Games, participants will be tasked with depositing those hard-earned medallions at the podium in the tower. You know the drill. Medallions can be earned by completing certain activities and mini-quests called contender cards and platinum cards. These activities are designed to be flexible, so if you've got the time, we've got those shiny medallions. Higher tier medallions, which will grant you more points, can be earned in activities like raids, dungeons, competitive PvP like Trials of Osiris and Survival, higher difficulty modes of the seasonal activity like PsyOps Battlegrounds, and even more. Lower tier medallions, which are important too, drop in content like Gambit, Vanguard Strikes, Quick Play, Crucible, and other Throne World activities at the standard difficulty level. Gold medals can be earned by completing contender cards in easier activities, whereas platinum medals drop when platinum cards are completed on tougher content. Basically, you can play what you want, snatch up those pinnacles, and scoop up some shiny medallions back in the tower. The entire goal here is to allow you to basically play whatever kind of content you want and still be contributing towards your chosen team. But wait, there's more. Something new coming to Guardian Games this year is strike scoring, which factors in the playtime only for the Guardian Games playlists. Additionally, we've got strike medals, which are designed to reward players for pulling off some pretty impressive feats, like taking out a ton of enemies with a fancy little combat jig like Shatter. This should also help with players that feel like they're being matched with others that just kind of zip right through strikes. Why rush through when you can score some additional points by going ham and showing the bad guys what's up? There are going to be two Guardian Games playlists, training and competitive, and when you play matters. Here's how it's going to break down. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the place to be is the training playlist. Here you can earn practice scores, the combined scores of your entire fire team. But on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, it's time to get sweaty in the competitive playlist. This will be where you earn the big, exciting rewards. Players can earn buffs in the recreational, training, and competitive playlists by ranking bronze, silver, gold, or platinum. These will last until the next weekly reset. And you can use these buffs in the regular Vanguard Ops playlist. Players will also be able to unlock torches to light in the tower based on their highest score past a certain threshold. For example, lighting the bronze, silver, gold, and platinum torches grants rewards and a glow that can be seen on the right shoulder of a Guardian's armor. This is so you can feel extra pretty. Lighting the torch is monumental when it comes to the Guardian Games experience, however, and we want Guardians in Destiny 2 to feel that significance in-game. For any personal medallion deposits, there's some more glow action on the way with an accompanying left shoulder glow as well. Any progress is going to be an accomplishment for this event, and Bungie wants you to feel proud of the time that you put in, but not like you're required to go in and endlessly grind away. And then we get some awesome shots at the looks we'll be rocking for this year's Guardian games. The overall structure for Guardian games is designed to focus on skill level, meaning that higher scores are achieved by taking on tougher activities, defeating enemies, staying alive, and completing an activity in a timely manner. New bounties have also been thrown in for this year's festivities to help players feel inspired to engage in the Guardian Game Strike and Battlegrounds playlists. A little nudge for players to engage with the event-specific Vanguard medal system, if you will. And since there's nifty new content this year, they've also updated their Contender and Platinum cards as well as our Medallion rewards for completing those new challenges. New raid? Check. Legendary and Master Lost sectors? Check. New seasonal content? Yep, also check. You can choose to spend your time in the newer content, but it's not required to participate. More options, more ways to play. Keep it fun, keep it fresh, but also keep the core spirit alive for what Guardian Games is. And that's a community-wide effort to show some class love. Now, let's get into some of the rewards you'll be earning for participating in the Guardian Games, especially for those of you who have an affinity for submachine guns. Introducing the Title, a new legendary sub-archetype that will be available during the Guardian Games event. According to Jason Briggs, a test lead at Bungie, the Title is a Haka Void SMG for the energy slot that is an aggressive frame with a unique origin perk, Classy Contender, which grants class ability energy with final blows from the weapon. It has a wide range of perks that it can roll with, and players will have many opportunities to earn fully masterwork drops with double perks in both the third and the fourth columns, meaning there's going to be a lot to actually grind for over the course of this Guardian Games event. Very exciting to hear about this new legendary submachine gun. I do like that it's going to be Void. That means it's going to fit in with the Void 3.0 builds we've got right now. It's got a brand new awesome origin perk. Cannot wait to see some of the rolls for it. But class items can also be earned, as well as another shot at the heir apparent exotic LMG and its catalyst. So the sandbox is about to get a little more interesting during the Guardian Games celebration. Oh, and did they mention that players that score in the top 10% at the end of the event will get their own spiffy new exclusive emblem to show off? And then we get a look at that new emblem here. The emblem for the player that scores in the top 10% will be awarded after Bungie combines their highest scores from each week. When the event ends, the combined score will determine who made it to the top of the player base for Guardian Games. This will unlock a special triumph, and boom, emblem awarded. So if you really want those flexing, bragging rights, you're going to have to play a lot of Guardian Games to get access to that emblem. Next, Bungie talks a bit about how the player numbers are going to be affecting this event. As we know, there are more hunters out there than both Titans and Warlocks, and last year Bungie kind of had to put their thumb on the scale a bit to even things out. Here's how they're going to be addressing that this time around. With every player having their own unique playstyle, most have a main class. This is awesome, but does mean that not every class has the same number of Guardians competing for that Guardian Games win. Last year's games included a 10% catch-up buff that allowed for each class to have a fighting chance, regardless of how many players are in that class pool. This was to encourage players to feel like they have equal footing regarding competition, and it seemed to work out pretty well in the end. But there's always room to make improvements, so this year, each team's score multiplier will start with whatever value they ended on during last year's festivities. Titans, having placed third on most days, will have the largest boost. Warlocks, with the second most days in third place, will get a moderate boost. Hunters, having placed third the least number of times, will get the smallest boost. A little added bonus includes a minor 4% buff to their multiplier for the class in second place, with a 10% buff for those in third place. And so that's how Bungie's going to try to keep the field level between the different player numbers who are playing different main classes. Interesting stuff. Either way, Guardian Games 2022 is going to kick off next Tuesday on May 3rd and will run until May 24th. So get that gear ready and make your fire team proud. But beyond the Guardian Games news, we actually get a bit of a sneak peek at some incoming ritual weapons for Season 17. These are, of course, special weapons that will be tied to ritual activities like Nightfalls and Gambit or Crucible. Here's what Bungie had to say. With Season 17, the ritual weapons available when ranking up will be the Heavy Machine Gun Chain of Command. Like previous seasons, this reputationally driven reward will come with a unique ornament that depends on the vendor. And then we get an awesome clip of that new heavy machine gun here. Of course, the Crucible ornament will be mandated artillery. For Gambit, it's called Insubordination. And for Vanguard, it's the Standard Regulation ornament. But it's not just the chain of command that you'll be fighting for next season. There's going to be a new Crucible fusion rifle titled Riptide, a new Gambit shotgun titled the Deadweight, and the Vanguard playlist is getting a new bow titled the Strident Whistle. For Nightfall drops, you're going to be getting access to the Horror's Least pulse rifle, and the DFA hand cannon is making its return. DFA in particular was one of my absolute favorites from I think like back in the Curse of Osiris or Warmind days. Cannot wait to get access to it again with a whole new perk pool. Finally, we get a sneak peek at some incoming Trials of Osiris weapons, in particular the Forgiveness sidearm and the Burden of Guilt fusion rifle. And as a quick reminder, as we're getting these two new weapons, both the Messenger and Shayura's Wrath will be leaving the Trials perk pool in Season 17. Make sure you get a good roll of those now. And finally, Season 16's weapons will be shifting over into the standard loot pool, meaning Crisis Inverted, Herod C, and the Fortissimo 11 will be just general loot pool weapons in Season 17. But alright, Guardians, there we go. That's it for the biggest bits of news contained in this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly blog, This Week at Bungie. Really excited about Guardian games coming back again, looking forward to the competition and looking forward to seeing which main class is going to be taking the dub. The only other bit of news to talk about is that if you've linked your email to your Bungie.net account, keep an eye on it. You might be getting an email from Bungie next week where they're going to be making basically a poll that you'll be able to participate in to choose what the next map for Trials of Osiris is. On May 3rd, players may receive an email from Bungie that will allow you to vote for which map you'd like to see in the next rotation. And on May 5th, the vote will close and the winning map will be revealed in the next week's TWAB. So, if you want to have an input on the next week's Trials map, make sure you're paying attention for those Bungie emails. But that's the news, those are my thoughts. Be sure to leave me yours down in the comment section below. How do you feel about the return of Guardian games? Are you looking forward to diving into Destiny Olympics? Be sure to let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. I'm out for now. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.